This is it. The last lesson, lesson 34. All right. Oh my goodness, we made it through. Um, in the background today, I'm not a big reader. I don't do a lot of reading, unless I have to. I'd rather watch the movie. I'm that guy. But this is probably one of my favorite books I've ever read. It's called Bringing Down the House. And surprise, surprise, it's about gambling. It's about some students from MIT who mastered the math and probabilities behind the game of blackjack and took that strategy to Las Vegas and made millions of dollars. It's actually a really good book. There's a lot of math in it. There's a movie about it. It's called 21. It came out, I forget how many years ago. The movie really over embellishes the story. So the book in this case is more factual. But if you got some time and are wanting to read a little bit about math, in particular in the back of the book, they take you through all the math that is related to the game of blackjack. It's pretty cool. Bringing Down the House. Anyways, lesson 34, as promised, I'm going to teach you today how we solve for T in that formula. And yes, the formula is correct today. I have it written up there properly. I double checked myself twice. All right, so let me show you a couple quick examples of how you solve for T. It's going to require logarithms. So let me write the first problem up here and we'll start. So here's our first word problem. Want to know if you took, how long it would take you to double your money if you invest $3,000 at 4% compounded quarterly. So what this means is you've taken $3,000 that you got from somewhere and you put it into some sort of investment account. Could be an IRA, could be a 403B. There's all these different investments that you can do, money market account, stuff that if you ever take math for personal finance, you'll learn about some of that stuff. It's pretty neat. But anyways, I want to know how long it would take you to double that money if you invested it at 4% compounded quarterly. So you put it into an account that gets 4% compounded quarterly. How long will it take you to double your money? So let's set this up. My initial amount is $3,000. And then in the parentheses here, I have 1 plus my R value, which is 0.04 as a decimal, over my N. My N is how often my interest is calculated. In this case, it's 4 because it's quarterly, 4 times a year. And then that's to the 4T. I put 4 in for N there, and we're solving for T. We want to know how long it takes this money to double. So I'm going to double 3,000 to 6,000 and put that over on the left side. So there's the setup. Now to solve this thing, the first thing you need to do, you can do a couple of different things. You can do two things first. You can either divide this 3,000 over first, or you can clean up what's inside the parentheses first. It's your choice. I'm going to go ahead and divide both sides by 3,000. I need to do that because I'm trying to solve for T. When you're solving an equation, you're trying to get that thing by itself. So I need to get rid of this 3,000. You can't multiply these two together because if you do, that's not going to work because this exponent right here is attached to those parentheses. So you can't multiply these two. So I need to divide this 3,000 over first. And that's going to give me a 2 over here because 6,000 divided by 3,000 is a nice even 2. I'm going to go ahead and clean that up too and add those all up. If you take your calculator and do 1 plus 0.04 over 4, you do get 1.01, and that's being raised to the 4t. So now here comes logarithms, because remember, if we're trying to solve for an exponent, we need to get it out of there, and the only way to do that is to use logarithms and that power rule we learned. So remember the common log button on the calculator. We're going to common log both sides. It's a log whose base is 10. So I am going to take the log of this side and the log of this side. Whatever you do to one side of an equation, you must do to the other. I'm using common log because that's the button I have on my calculator. The power rule of logarithms tells me that I can take this 4t right here and move it to the front of that log. We learned that in a previous lesson. So log 2 equals 4t times the log of 1.01. So I've moved the 4t to the front. Now how am I going to get t by itself? I'm going to divide both sides by 4, but I'm also going to divide by the log of 1.01 at the same time. And what that'll do is reduce those out and reduce those out, leave me with just a t. And so now I just need to figure out what this is all equal to on my calculator. So let's grab our calculator. Let's use the fraction button for that. So alpha f1, create a fraction. On the top is going to be the log of 2. On the bottom is going to be 4 times the log of 1.01. So it looks like that on the calculator. You can see the rest of the book now in the background. The green screen app seems to think that the calculator screen is green, so it's giving you the rest of the book. But anyways, you can still see that, I hope. And if I hit enter, it's going to tell me how many years it's going to take. I didn't give you rounding instructions. On your homework, I asked you to round to the nearest tenth, so I'm going to do that here. So look at that. It's going to be 17.4 years. There we go. That is how you solve for t. All right, I'm going to do one more. I'll put the problem up here, and if you want to try it on your own first and then watch me do the work, you're more than welcome to. But I think if I do one more, you should be all set. All right, so continuing on, but also stopping for a second, talk more about my favorites. This is my last lesson. I'm trying to make sure you guys get the full experience that you would have gotten in class, where you learn a little bit about me and some of my likes and stuff. So a lot of times people will ask me, well, who's your favorite singer, or what's your favorite group or whoever. And I always used to say I don't really have one because I like all different types of music. So then I started thinking, well, geez, what's the one artist that I know every one of their songs? I have all of their albums, call them albums, CDs, and have seen them in concert twice. And it comes down to this guy. This is probably my favorite if you use all of that criteria. Hopefully you know who this is. If you don't, this is Garth Brooks, and he is a legend, country legend. I'm a country music person. I do like country music. That's not all I listen to. I listen to just about anything. But he probably is my favorite of all time when it comes to just knowing all the songs and enjoying his music. He's pretty amazing in concert. He's actually a wild man, like smashes guitars, and he's pretty crazy, but really awesome. Garth Brooks, you should listen to him. Friends in Low Places, great song. Okay, so second example and final example. You're going to put $10,000 into an account that earns 6% compounded monthly. How long until you have $15,000? All right, 6% is actually pretty good gain right there. 6% is usually what you want to strive for when you're investing, as minimum. You know, if you get 6% or higher, you're doing good with your investments. Okay, so here we go. The setup. I want my final amount to be $15,000. I want my initial amount to be $10,000. My rate is 6%, so 0.06. Over n is going to be 12 in this problem because we're compounding monthly, 12 times a year, and that's to the 12t. So if you want to go ahead and try to solve that on your own, see what you get, I'm going to do that as well. All right. So let's first divide both sides by 10,000. That's going to give me 1.5 over here. And I'm going to take 1 and add 0.06 over 12 to it. I believe that's going to give me 1.005, but I'm just going to confirm that because you know what? My math has not been great lately, and you guys know that with my last blunder that I had. I don't know if I'm just getting burned out with math or what. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, 1.005. See, I was right. I should have just had confidence in myself. 1.005. And now it's logarithm time. So I'm going to log both sides. I'm going to log 1.5. I'm going to log 1.005. Now I'm going to show you a little shortcut that you can do. We know that the next step is going to be to take that 12t and move it to the front using the power rule. If you want to do that all in one step, you can. Instead of writing it twice, you can just go ahead and move that 12t to the front now and put the log in there as well. all in one step, save you a little bit of time. So now to get t by itself, I have to divide both sides by 12, but I also have to divide by the log of 1.005. There we go, those will reduce out. The 12s will reduce out, leaving me with t. And once again, I'm gonna go nearest 10th because that's what I did on the homework. So let's grab our calculator. Let's get a fraction going here. We got the log of 1.5 on the top. And on the bottom, we have 12 times the log of 1.005. There it is on the calculator. There's more Garth Brooks in the background. Look at him, guy's a legend. And hit enter. And I'm getting 6.8 when I round that. So about 6.8 years. All right. And yes, this is logarithms and algebra 2 and some pre-calc stuff, but this is also life stuff because investing money is huge. If you can get to a point in your life where you can put money away into an account and let it just grow for you, it's like having another person working for you. You know, it's like having an extra person in your house earning money because you're putting it into this account and it's just earning and earning and earning and earning. So in this case, you could have thrown $10,000 into an account for almost 7 years and made yourself $5,000 just by having it sit there. And that's pretty cool, all right? That's if it's 6%. It could be higher. It could be 7%, 8%, 9%, depending on how the stock market's doing and things like that. Investing money is great if you can. Now, you do have to pay taxes on that money. Once you make the investment and earn the money, that's a whole other discussion that we're not going to get into. If it was class, we would. I probably would get into it. But so that's it. Lesson 34, solving for t. You got 3 problems to do for homework. I'll put solutions up. Let me know if you need any help. Garth Brooks.